Oh, I'm scared. Uh, it's almost Halloween as I do this video, and I am just reviewing old fashioned. All kidding aside, welcome to Pop Culture Bible. My name is Jason Major, and we're reviewing the movie Old Fashioned. So I would say there's 3 parts of this video. 1 is the movie itself, 2 is the commentary, and 3 there's other people's reviews, and 4 it's theological discussions. So getting into the movie itself, this movie was positioned as the anti 50 Shades of Grey. Not kidding. And if you Wikipedia 50 Shades of Grey for the novel, you can find a PG rated, just nice summary, just so that you can know and be informed what all that hype was about. And the story of that was that basically a corporate guy who wanted to use bondage style sex for role playing with a coworker, someone he actually was working underneath him. So there's a lot of emotional abuse as well as abuse in terms of relationships and power in that movie. And it's interesting to note that all movie reviewers pretty much pan the movie, and even fans of the book pan the movie. And even though it made a ton of money, it basically got universally panned as one of the worst movies of the year. And except for this movie, which was another worst movie of the year in terms of movie reviewers. Or best movie, from some Christian movie reviewers. Depends on your theology, huh? So the plot of the movie is, 50 Shades of Grey was kind of about emotional abuse. This one's about someone who has been kind of damaged goods himself. So we're doing a Christian version of this. So the idea is that he was a party boy. He made Girls Gone Wild type-ish videos about college girls. And he now owns an antique store called Old Fashioned, very on the nose. And he rents it to this girl named Amber. So Clay rents it to a girl named Amber. Clay as in clay, dirt, Amber as in amber, bright, vibrant, a lot of trying to do symbolism here. And so he rents it to her, and basically his value system and principles is that he will not be alone with a girl, and he basically tells her that his idea is old-fashioned courtship, and that's where his values are. But it's also very rule-based, and very much like we can only do this, we can only do that. And for some reason, she's interested in him, or maybe I guess sees it as a challenge after. It's established in the movie she's been in abusive relationships before and had very predator-type guys, so maybe she's just like, oh, this guy's kind of a challenge and very different. Okay, it's weird and quirky. I'm interested in him. She pursues him by breaking some stuff, and then eventually he decides that he's going to take her out and, take her out together. Their first quote date is at a grocery store. Shopping together. Not really a date, it's shopping. They just happen to be shopping in the same store. And from there, she tries to build a relationship with him. She tries to do this courtship thing, but he's all very much like, we're going to a marriage counselor, even though we're not even dating, actually. We're going to go to a marriage counselor, we're going to go through this rule book of red, light, yellow, yellow, green, and determine if we're a good fit. So he wants to answer all these questions and sort of do it very structured. She just wants him to romance him. So in other words, he's not even like a guy. It's not like an old-fashioned courtship in the sense that he's romancing her with flowers and everything else. He's just rules. Eventually she gets tired of this and she breaks up with him. And at the end of the movie, he kind of changes. His aunt says, "You blockhead, you're using the grace of God like a brick wall, and stop doing this and start living life and forgive yourself and move on and go back to this girl." And does he change? I don't know. He gets with a girl. That's all I know, is that he gets with a girl. That's the plot of the movie. So the movie is just full of a whole bunch of contradictions. Commentary-wise, I watched the commentary to get into the director. The guy who plays Clay also wrote and directed and produced this. And when you get into that commentary, he basically does understand at least a little bit that Clay is into law and way into law, and whereas Amber kind of represents Grace. However, if you watch reviews, it's very confusing. I'm really confused. Like I don't know where in real life the guy who plays Clay would say, is he saying that Clay is 100% right, 50% right, 20% right? I guess he says he's kind of right. Either way, I've watched some reviewers who are not Christian review this movie, and basically they point out really simple things like if you're renting to an apartment to a girl and your first words to her is something out of your mouth is, "I won't come inside to show you the apartment because I can't be trusted alone with a girl," run. The second one being if he's going to force you outside with a blanket in the cold while he fixes the stove, run. The third one, all these rules are just degrading to a woman in terms of making her like cut baby food, and that's another degrading thing. And another one being that basically everything he does is not love. There's a fine line between 50 Shades of Grey and this movie, and it's just not this movie. This is not love. This is not courtship. And they actually identify that this is not love and courtship. And I would say this, is that some of the Christian reviewers is like, this is the best movie of the year. This is what old-fashioned romance goes. That's total BS. Sorry. This is not old-fashioned romance. This is Law versus Grace. The movie itself, the commentary says that they're trying to make an old-fashioned romance in the way that old-fashioned romance movies were made. So the pacing, the lighting, the symbolism, and I think he strives to do all that, and he's tried. It's debatable. I don't think he succeeds because the pacing's too long as a movie, too much stretches. I think the fundamental problem in this movie is Clay. Is that you as a viewer either think that the writer-producer is Clay in real life and is self-righteously saying this is the way to do it. Even in the movie, you have characters around him that sort of say that he's wrong. You have his friend who's in wedlock. He seems the most balanced character, even though from a Christian theology perspective, you're supposed to wait till you're married. He's in wedlock, but he gets married, but he loves his wife, and he's very friendly and compassionate and everything. Clay doesn't make sense as a religious person even, because he has this religious blockages with the girls, like all the girl stuff, but he's willing to go to a bar and pub, whether you believe that's okay or not as a Christian. He's willing to do it. He's willing to hang out with these friends. One of them who's a shock jock host who thinks women are stupid and it's all about boobs, and made those videos again. So he's willing to hang out with those people and have no problem with it. So he's not religious in that sense of like telling them, but he's religious in all these girl sense, and the way he treats people is not actually very respectful, actually, or loving or kind or gracious. Or where's the grace would be the question I would ask. And also, he's also not religious. He says he's religious, but he doesn't go to church. So he's not shown in the beginning of the film as reading the Bible and loving Jesus and worshiping Jesus and having a relationship with Jesus. He's shown as this guy who's really isolated. And so as someone who understands church culture and understands a little bit about outside there, I understand that this guy is legalistic. The problem is that that's not really shown whether this is wrong behavior or right behavior, with the exception of maybe his aunt saying, like, you're out of whack, you're just too far the other way. And I think that for a viewer, you're lost. Is this guy right? What is the message of this movie? The message of the movie is an old-fashioned courtship. He doesn't do flowers. He doesn't do candlelight dinners. He doesn't do that until the very end of the movie. And I think that if the movie's trying to make a message, it would be law versus grace, and then at the end, when he does the candlelight dinner, it is a step towards it, but he's not completely whole, which is why he proposes to her in the baby food aisle, which is really ridiculous and really insulting to any woman, I think. And he only kisses her a peck on the cheek. And so he's still in his mindset of rules and regulations, I think. So again, is he somewhat right? We aren't clear about this, and I think that that's the big fault of this movie. So dramatically, from a movie's perspective, depending on who you are, what kind of person you are, you will either say this is a bad movie, you will say it's an enjoyably bad movie, or it's a great movie of Christian values. And I don't think it's fair for me to tell you which is right. For me, I would give this. I don't even know what rating to give this movie. I'm going to say, in one way, it's a 10 out of 10 in the sense of like it's something that you can watch and like chew apart and laugh at with some friends and or talk and debate for 4 hours about. On the other hand, it's as a movie, it's like I enjoy watching this type of movie for the conversations. So acting wise, self-righteous actor, let's go with a 5 out of 10 just to be even spread. Even spread for everybody. So there'll be. I'm going to say that watch the trailer. And based on my review of the movie, if the plot sounds like something too far-fetched and too ridiculous for you, that you would not enjoy or get a laugh out of it, don't try and watch the movie beyond a couple clips. If you just think that this is a good old-fashioned romance, then you might find it enjoyable and just laugh at the stuff that's to be silly. That's another problem in the movie, is that the stuff that's over the top could have been played for laughs, and I think that would have been better to do that. If you want an old-fashioned courtship movie, I recommend Kate Leopold, which had Meg Ryan and Hugh Jackman. And in that movie, Hugh Jackman's kind of from the 19th century through a cracking time, through time travel, comes to the 20th century. Or 21st, I guess. And then he meets Meg Ryan, and he's the Duke of Albany, and he teaches her, like, this is what chivalry and being a gentleman and being noble and treating a woman with respect is all about. And actually romances her and is kind to her, but he's not out for sex. He's out for taking the pace quiet and easy. But it's all done in what I would see as true courtship. So, Why We're Sleeping is another great example. So Old Fashioned, it's a horror movie in disguise. If you are like me, you gotta watch this movie just to see what it's all about. And otherwise, if you're just a general movie fan, you're probably going to be bored out of your tree, and all the other stuff, psychological, analytical stuff, is just not worth your time watching this. So, and if you're a fan of bad movies, watch this so I can hear your review. Thank you very much. We'll talk about more soon. Bye.